Welcome back to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community, everyone. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
Hey, all good. How are you?
Good. You know, getting ready to take a trip here. I'm very much looking forward to it. But
Nice.
we had to make sure to squeeze this in, guys. You know, there's the Comic Shop talk does not take a vacation, guys.
Oh, it's late night collectors community in the afternoon.
That's right. As you see the sun shining behind Chris there.
Oh,
That's
it's foggy out there.
yeah. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. This is your first time checking out the episode. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, like button. Episode 53 here today. Hit the notification bell to be notified of when these shows do come out weekly. We've been pretty good about dropping them on every Saturday for you guys. You can also follow us on our Instagram at Late Night Collectors Community to be notified of when those shows do go out, what time they do drop there as well. And I've also been updating the show notes for you guys to help navigate through, to help in case you're worried about spoilers. So, spoiler warning, guys. Be forewarned, we are going to be showing off the art in a lot of these books here that we're talking about here today. We're going to be spoiling some things that happen in them. We try to stay away from some big spoilers sometimes if we feel like it may ruin your experience. But, you know, be forewarned because we got to talk about the books. We got to review them, right? So we talk about things. And the books that we are talking about this week are the new books that came out for the week of November 23rd. 2022. So yeah, we're quickly making our way into the last month of the year. As I mentioned in previous episodes, there will be an episode dropping between Christmas and New Year's for you guys, and me and Chris will be pre-recording, which we got to talk a little bit more about in the coming weeks of where we'll be kind of talking about some of our favorite things that came out this year, you know, giving away some awards and such, essentially like best of 2022 type shit going on. So, and maybe some of the worst as well. So stay
Well,
tuned.
that might be the most fun, the worst.
You know, we try to keep things positive for the most part here, but me and Chris have been known to rip a couple of books to shreds here. So on their show as well. So some of them deserve it. So, you know, that's what you got to look forward to in that episode, right, Chris?
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. Anyways, as I sit here with my wine, because I don't have a beer here today, Chris.
All right, cheers.
Cheers.
All right, let's get down to business. Let's talk comics.
Talk comics. Okay, first up here today, we got DC versus Vampires 11. Bring up the art here for you guys. Oh, nice cover. Let's take a look at that.
Another sweet cover.
That's an awesome cover.
I think
Nice.
it's a Nathan Zerdy.
That's a nice cover. I really like that cover. I didn't actually even see that alternate cover for this one. Nice. That's really good.
He's been killing the covers on this
Absolutely.
DC versus Vampires.
So
That's those are still not bad. 8 covers either.
yeah, I got the regular one here as well. But yeah, Chris, what did you think of this one? One issue away from completing the series.
I'd say got a few storylines going on through here. What do we have? We got the Gotham storyline there, and the one in Smallville with the Swamp Thing and Green Arrow. But my favorite one was the one in Australia where they're trying to get Supergirl up above the clouds or whatever.
Yeah.
The main man shows up, and I think they use him really well in there. Like he's just there as as a force of chaos, not good, not bad, just likes to stir things up and cause shit. I thought it was great. Like that story in Gotham, I don't know, that was kind of hokey there. Like, I don't even know who this cavalry was that shows up. Like those 3 motorcycles that come in there. I think they're trying to get to Dick Grayson's, I don't know, castle or wherever he is. And the one with, I think that was the worst story. But the second story there with Swamp Thing, there's some few funny lines there. It's still all about that urinating on the Swamp Thing to get him to grow. But
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to drum up some rebel support there. So I'm looking forward to see what's coming from all this. I liked it.
I'm with you. This was a super solid issue. It was a really great issue. One of the best issues I feel actually of the series, honestly. And I really just hope they don't drop the ball with this last issue coming up here, because I thought this was a great lead in. Yeah, and I got confused for a second because I'm like, didn't Lobo already show up? And then I remember we got it mixed up with the other alternate universe book that he just
Deceased, where he didn't show up, where they're teasing him. Here, you didn't hear anything about him, and boom, there he is.
Yeah, which I agree with you. That was an awesome scene. This scene with Grifter, Green Arrow, and Swamp
Yeah,
Thing was awesome. Yeah, I agree with you that the other one with the motorcycle one being the weakest of the bunch. But at the same time, it's like it's all coming together beautifully. Like I really like the ending too, where Supergirl finally got exposed to the sun because now she's got the power back, essentially getting
I think
triggered by
you
it.
don't know.
That's what it looks like. But yeah, I guess we'll see next issue. But how would you feel? I have a question for you though. How would you feel that if we get that next issue, Chris, and they parlay it into another fucking series somewhere down the
Ooh,
road? Yeah. How
that'd
would
be a tough one because, like, that spin off that All Out War.
mm-hmm,
If I could give back those issues, get my money back, I'd do it.
mm-hmm.
But I don't think they'll do that. They might leave something up in the air to let it go, but they better not have the ending of the issue. Supergirl getting her power back, and okay, I'm ready to pounce.
Yeah, look forward to DC
Yeah, I
versus.
look forward to DC versus Vampires 2, coming in 2024.
Listen, I hope that's not the case either, but that's why I threw it out there because I'm like, there is a possibility that can happen because I'm
A
pretty
lot
sure
of stuff has to happen in that last issue, and there's only so many pages.
that's what I mean. And I'm pretty certain this has been a successful series for them. So I would not be surprised of them trying to pull something like that. Now, that being said, if they
Now you're
don't go
killing me.
that if they don't go that route and they give us a satisfying conclusion next issue, I'll be pretty happy because I thought this was terrific. This issue, the art was on point. Everyone's coming together. There's a great John Constantine scene to open up the issue. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think this is actually a pretty solid week. I think all around, to be honest with you, I had a time with some of my comics this week. So
I'm pretty happy with everything too.
yeah, there you go. So what'd you give this one?
Yeah, I'll give this a 4. I liked it a lot.
Same 4 as well. I think it's very 4 a week for the most part for me, but I guess as we get into
See how it goes.
and talk about it, yeah, we'll see. They can't all be that they'll be winners, but yeah, I think for the most part it's going to be a middling week in the sense of they're all pretty decent, the stuff I've read for the most part. So, anyways, Vanish number 3 here. Yeah, I got the Daniel Warren Johnson cover. Oh, you got the Stegman one, eh? Both awesome.
I don't know. It was one they gave me. I didn't even ask for this, but they just threw it out. This is the 8 cover, I imagine.
That's the Stegman cover. Yeah, this is the Daniel Warren Johnson cover, of course.
Nice.
Do a power bomb. He's been doing all the alternate covers of this series that have also looked awesome. I got the first 2 Stegman, and this third one I had to go with Daniel Warren Johnson. Can't go wrong no matter which one you get.
No.
These guys, honestly, they were both really great. Chris, what'd you think of this issue, man?
It's turning around, my friend. It's turning around. I wasn't too big on the first couple issues, but this one here, I don't know. Like, there's still nothing big going on in the story, but I freaking love this one. He wakes up getting his face pounded in. Those two characters there, they didn't seem like that Bat Boy or the Damian Wayne ripoff in the first issue. Like I say, I think I'm liking this, and this could be turning the point. And then, I think you sent me a message earlier. Is Donny Cates going to be writing on this too now? Because I felt that this was all Ryan Stegman.
No, so they have him on writing credits as well because he's also contributing to the story with story and pencils. That's what they have Stegman in as on the credits here. But I think if anything, this is definitely Donny Cates writing this one still for sure.
Yeah, the story just worked.
Yeah, this was fantastic. This is my favorite issue so far of the series. With this issue,
definitely, easily.
With this issue, like you said, I think that we're turning a corner, and it was a slow start, but like they jumped ahead in this one from the conclusion of the last issue, and the way they started it, like you said, was right in the middle of a fucking fight where he's getting his ass kicked, and Ryan Stegman, again, I've said this already, has never looked fucking better. This is the art in this book. He is killing it on the art in this book. Like he is destroying this book. We're actually going to be talking about another book where he did some pages in the book this week as well, and you can tell that he's putting all his energy into this one in comparison. Like this is where the quality is at. I was actually very disappointed in the other pages he did in another book.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that later.
but yeah, this was great. Yeah, man. I mean, pretty much majority of the issue was a big fight, but it was just really well choreographed. And
but every page mattered.
Yeah.
Like, and even still the story, like this is, what's the guy's name? His name isn't Vanish, is it?
No, the bad
the hero of this book.
No, not the hero. No, his name isn't Vanish, but I think the bad guy that they're referring to in that Magic Land was
Yeah.
Yeah.
because the good guy in this book may not be all that great there, because he's just trying to suck up this magic like crazy, and he seems to like, you know,
like
not take it so not take it so heroically. Let's say,
he like
like he could be the bad guy in this story. Who knows?
yeah, like, well, that's the thing. They're all really afraid of him, right? And
Yeah,
not only that, like, yeah, he's sucking up the blood of that dude in here like a vampire in this issue. Not and then like he's an addict. Like he's talking
yeah,
about how he's fucking like off, like he's like addicted to heroin and shit in this issue. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like opiates and shit like that, right? Like I'm just like, this
yeah.
guy.
The story's getting crazy, and I love it.
Yeah, like the people even in passing when they're talking to him about it, they're just like, you don't look so well, bud. Like you like you are a wreck, my friend.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and you're right, they are trying to say that they're the bad guy, and they're not the bad guys, and he has it wrong, but like he
yeah,
takes on himself to like just
yeah.
brutally murder these people. Yeah, just
Yeah,
like,
don't worry. I want your magic. I got it.
and this
So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was great.
last page, holy shit, this guy looks crazy that like just appears in this dude's room. I'm totally digging this, man. This
Yeah,
is a great issue. Yeah, absolutely.
absolutely. Loving it.
So what'd you give this one?
I give it a 4.25.
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. Close to a 4.5 based on the art, even, I would say. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it a 4.25 because I feel like,
Yeah, it's got to see where this goes. You know, if this story, like, you know, if I had some history behind all this stuff and I knew exactly what was happening,
yeah,
maybe, you know, I'd be hitting the fours and the fives, but I just don't know what's going on, but I still love it.
best issue yet, though. The hands
Oh,
down,
for sure.
for sure. All right. Next up, we got Avengers Forever number 11, Chris.
Our Avengers for Love and the All Rider. Woohoo. Let's see what I. Now, this one. So much, like, look at that art, though. Like, this, so much was going on in this story. So many epic moments there could be. Like, if they just got some sort of, they don't need, like, I wrote down they need a top tier artist for this issue.
Okay.
But even they got a mid tier artist. Like, look, you got a helicarrier getting freaking possessed by the All Rider, the Ghost Rider. You had Ghost Rider fighting the Ghost Goblin. Yeah, Ghost All Rider fighting the Doom above all. There could have been so many epic moments, and they got some freaking cartoony art style here. You know, they could have just borrowed the actual Ghost Rider artist, maybe just for this issue. It would have been epic. Like the story itself is freaking was going through the roof,
Okay.
but it was just taken down like 5 notches by just this cartoony stuff, and it killed me. Like this could have been like this would have been like a easy 5 if they had just, you know, even a mid tier artist or somebody that really wanted to draw Ghost Rider. Like there could have been so many epic things, but it just never came to be, and that just killed me.
No, I get where you're coming from with that. I don't think the art's bad, but you're right. It could use, yeah, it could have used someone better. I feel you. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
But you know, you have that All Rider there. You know, he's, you know, with Robbie Race, he's about to die, and like there, boom, look at that All Rider. Like, is that the worst Ghost Rider you've seen? Come on. And he's supposed to be the Ghost Rider, like the epic, you know, the top Ghost Rider ever. Come on.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But the story was great. You know, I'm still looking forward to the Avengers Assemble after this. I think this is what it's leading into.
Yes.
And I hope they got somebody better on that, because if it's this guy here, you know, you're throwing away 20 years of freaking, or 2-3 years of issues leading up to this, and you're gonna freaking go ahead with some freaking Saturday morning cartoon. Like, boom, look at that. What is that? Come on.
Yeah. I was about to say, I knew there was one coming up where even when I was putting the art together, I was like, that's not great.
Yeah, like that repentant stare to the doom above all. It's like nobody's gonna be afraid of that.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But I'll give it a 3.75 because I thought the story was great despite the art. Yeah. But if this had, a halfway decent artist, sorry, I'm not even know who I'm bagging on, but
I think it's Jim Toe that was does it say Toe on the cover there? TOWE. I think that's who drew the last issue anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Toe, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you there.
Like Jason Aaron can't be happy about this, This is the end of his stuff, and I got this guy. Come on.
when it comes to big events and epics, at least this is the lead into that. Like you said, if they don't switch it up in terms of the art, the level of artists that they're putting on that thing, I agree with you. I think you need a big time artist on that
Or
event.
to get some up and comer that's freaking, that's going to put some time into, where this could make his career. You know what I mean? But
To be fair though, I think this guy that they have on this one is an up and comer. He's not a big name. This guy that did this, I
he's
just
going to be
know.
going down and outer soon.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Deathstroke Inc. number 15. Is this the last issue of this?
It could be because it's
Okay.
the end of his year one arc, I think. And if it is the last issue, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Like, I think the series itself sort of lost steam, I guess, once Deathstroke, kind of joined or became part of that Dark Crisis. So I don't know if this were to continue, I'd know where it'd go from here.
Right.
But it was a decent ending to the arc there, and it just sets him up to be the badass mercenary. And then it still makes him out as an asshole. It's not like he's a hero there. He goes back to his family, but he's just pretending to be a family man so he can be a mercenary.
That's
And
Deathstroke.
it's a great looking comic though. I love the art that's been going on through this whole series. If this is it, I'm happy it's over, and it's better than freaking trying to string along, some stuff there where they stop putting effort in and start phoning it in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
And I give it a 3.5. Nothing special was going on in there. It's still a decent comic. 3.75 is good art.
Yeah. No, I saw it said the end, but I wasn't sure if it was the end of the series or the end of just this arc by the end of this, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll be looking at the DC solicits later, so we'll see if it actually pops up in the solicits. But I figured, like you said, involvement in Dark Crisis, I wasn't sure what stories they'd be really telling post Dark Crisis with this guy, right?
Yeah, like especially if they want to kind of keep in the main continuity because he's gone off the rails.
Right. So yeah, I guess
there's a lot of stuff that my word is my bond, and I'll follow through on whatever contract I get, which I guess plays into the Dark Crisis because he still wants to kill all the heroes because that's what he's contracted to do.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll find out. But all right, Creep Show number 3. I got this cover here. I liked this one. This was better than the last one. I remember the first issue being really solid, which is usually the case with these anthology type books. They usually put all their top tier talent on the first issue to get you in the door. And then afterwards, they start kind of reeling back in terms of the level of quality.
And one good story in there, eh?
Yeah, exactly. But I ended up liking both in this one. The first one was drawn by Francesco Francavilla and written by Marlo Francavilla. I don't know if that's like his wife or I don't know, like it's somebody obviously like that's related to him, but I'm not familiar with that person as a writer. But this one was really good. It was called Hair, and it was about a barber who in the issue, like it starts off where you see him kind of feeding some raccoons and stuff around his house, outside of his house. And then it cuts to him in the barber shop, and there's some people that come in for haircuts during the day in the barbershop, and they're doing some barbershop talk with him. And these people mentioned that there was somebody that's a local that was ended up found dead in the woods while they were hunting, that he was found without his head or something, and they're not sure how he ended up like that and what exactly occurred there. And then another customer came into the barbershop with somewhat of a similar story of another person from town that was found this way in the woods. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, I wonder what the hell's going on, right? And anyways, this, the barber's cutting their hair and chatting with them, and they end up leaving. And towards the end, he ends up sweeping up some like hair into like this drain in like the barber shop. And like you could see there's like a raccoon like underneath the floorboards or something, like a sewer grate, and you eating the hair that he's throwing down there, maybe giving him a taste for humans. I don't know. And then you cut to this crazy fucking 2-page spread of this like raccoon eating like the flesh and like off the skulls of like humans and something, and it turns out like this is a raccoon, a huge fucking like monstrous raccoon that I guess he's been that he knows nearby his house, and that he's been feeding his children. So like the raccoons that he's feeding at the end of this issue, I guess, are children of this big raccoon. And meanwhile, in the background, you could hear this man that was in the barbershop previously saying like he wasn't afraid of what was going on and the superstitions that were happening with the woods, and he was going to go hunting later that day. And I guess he's been feeding the raccoon human hair to attract it to these people, so it can feed off of them essentially. So I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And I really like Francovilla's art. It's kind of really good and moody for a horror story. So, and then the next one was called The Bridge. That's by Ariella Christiantina and George Corona on art. And I think the writer of this is also primarily known as our artist, that name, Ariella. So this one's called The Bridge, and it's about like an influencer type Instagram chick who's on vacation in some like, Mayan temple type area. And, they're on a tour of like one of these temples, and they tell the influencer chick that, hey, listen, if you need to be clothed and stuff properly while you go in there. It's disrespectful to like the tomb, and you can't dress like this. And she's kind of like, showing off on her Instagram live, and she's like, nah, fuck that. Like, I'm gonna strip down to my bikini. Like, I gotta do it for the views. You know what I mean? So she just goes in there and she's prancing around, and her friends kind of left her at this point because they think she's a bitch. Which she is, she's just one of these fucking, influencer chicks that's all about, very shallow and full of herself. And she's, and I mean, anyway, she proceeds to go into this tomb and gets mutilated. And like, she ends up morphing into like some sort of like a tree person. And basically by the end of it, she's morphed fully into this tree. That's just like in the actual tomb. Like, she's just encased in it essentially. And her friends are like walking around looking for her, and they can't find her because she's fucking dead, essentially infused into this tree. So yeah, I like the art on both of them. And the stories, again, they're all like these quick, 10-page kind of one and done type horror anthology, Tales from the Crypt like type shit that they got going on here, right? Where people get their comeuppance, right? So yeah, I give it a 3.75. I dig it. I dug it. I've been enjoying the series. But like everything that's like anthology, there's going to be some that's better than others, kind of a mixed bag of sorts, right? So, and then next up, we got Doctor Strange Fall Sunrise #1. This is a 4-issue miniseries that I was highly anticipating. I'm a huge fan of the artist on this, Trad Moore. And I think like his art over time, as you can even tell from the cover here, has became more and more abstract as time has gone on. But I really dig his style because he's not like really an artist that you find like on a lot of superhero comics per se. And his stuff takes a long time to come out and draw. And so like, yeah, he's done a lot of great work in the past that I've enjoyed. He did some stuff on Venom before in the past, and he did some stuff with through Image Comics, some series of things that he did. He did a Silver Surfer book, Silver Surfer Black with Donny Cates. So I'm a big fan of this guy's art. So I was really much looking forward to this. Huge fan of Doctor Strange. I cannot tell you what the fuck is going on in this book. This I don't know what's going on in this book. Like, he's writing and drawing this book, and he's not really known for his writing, but this book is, I guess this is post him getting killed. And it's almost like a weird, like, dream sequence in the afterlife type business going on in this issue. So like, it's told in 3 parts. Again, abstract art. Some of the writing's told in like, I don't know, like fucking limericks or like poems and shit like that. I was just like, yeah, what the hell is going on here? If it wasn't for the art, that was the only saving grace of this book. I would have nothing positive to say about the book. But like, it's a weird, trippy kind of looking book for Doctor Strange. And if he is in the afterlife, that all works. Like, that all works for me. But this is a book that I'm hesitant to say I'm gonna double dip on it because as good as the art is, and I've already pre-ordered 3 of the 4 issues, so I might as well see it through. This story is all fucking baloney at this point. This is like, I don't know, some sort of gibberish that I'm reading. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, trippy as hell. Very cool art. That's as much as I can say that positive about this book. I can't tell you what the fuck is happening in this book, or and I hate dream sequences, and I hate like shit like that where it's like you have no idea what's going on. And the visuals, like I said, were enjoyable. That's it. So can't tell you. Sorry.
They tried to stick it in my pack this week. I go, yeah, I didn't order this one. Sorry, guys. You're keeping it. I'll see it on the spinning rack tomorrow or next week.
Like, this is cool. Like, in the end, in the third part of the story, like he encounters like this whole like labyrinth, like a maze, essentially, like at the core of like wherever he is. But like I said, I just can't Can't tell what's happening. By the end of this issue, it looks like he's been taken prisoner. He fights some guys. But the writing does it no favors. Like I don't feel like it's written well, and it's pretty. So I gave this a 2.5 because, and I'm rounding up because I feel like I would have given it a 2 in terms of story, but I'm going to give it a little bit more just based off the art. 5 on the art. Love the visuals, but I gotta deduct it majorly, and that's why I'm going right down the middle as a 2.5 for it based on the story, right? So it's just a mess. All right, next up we got Ronin Book 2, number 1. I don't have any preview art for this one, but this is the new Frank Miller Presents title that came out this week. This is a return to Ronin. He's not drawing this one. This is a series that he did back in the day, I think after Dark Knight with DC Comics. I like the original Ronin, although that one is also very out there and hard to follow, but like it's at the peak of his style essentially before he switched it up to kind of look like more like Sin City style Frank Miller. And, Frank Miller is still a polarizing figure in the world of comics. A little bit crazy, some folks would say. He's very outspoken. And this is his first effort now with his own publishing line, Frank Miller Presents, FMP. And I was just intrigued to see what he was bringing to the table with this one. But Philip Tan is the artist on this book. It's not Frank Miller that's drawing it. Again, horrible written comic. He wrote this, Frank horribly written. He's never been known for I think I've never loved his writing. He's done some good things in the past in terms of things he's written. I love Sin City, love Dark Knight Returns. But I think at a certain point, especially recently, and maybe even the last 10, 15 years, most folks would say arguably, like maybe not even arguably, he's not been known to write good stories the way he writes. Right. So, so yeah, it's not written well, but Philip Tan, the visuals on this book, again, fantastic looking book. It's such a shame. This is what I dropped though. I've only pre-ordered the first issue of this because I'm just like, what are the chances this is going to be good, right? I just gave up on pre-ordering this one, and it seems like it's coming out like every 2 months. And these are oversized issues. Beautiful looking art, guys. I wish I could share it with you guys, but I couldn't get some preview art for this. But like, it's it's a really, really cool looking book. As far as I can tell, the Ronin, the clone of this woman, now has a kid from the first book, and they're fighting big monsters in this. Got the samurai aspect to it. But again, the dialogue is just fucking horrible. But I love the visuals. I'm not even that big of a Philip Tan fan from previous things that he's done, but he looks great here. He kind of looks like he's trying to do a Frank Miller of old style, like a Sin City style or something along those lines. So all in black and white. Looks great. Great looking book. Cannot tell you whatever the fuck happened in this book other than that they fought a monster. They fought a monster in this, but the dialogue is horseshit. Also giving this 2.5. So there you go. Remember what I said earlier about enjoying all my comics this week, guys? I guess it's not true for these ones, right? The art's great.
Fire Engine Forever could have got one of these guys here to do a good comic. Can't pay him like, go on. Anyways.
If one of these artists, we should have flip-flopped this. If one of these artists about just did your book, you would have been a lot happier. Guys, it's the medium that needs both things for it to really be successful, right? You need good art and you need good storytelling, right? And the art is a big part of the storytelling. So if you don't have that, you don't really have a good story a lot of the times either. So it's unfortunate. But anyways, yeah. Daredevil number 5, Chris.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a series here that lately I thought has just been phoned in there by our friend Mr. Chip Zdarsky. You know, he's been spending a lot of time on his Batman there. That's been kicking ass. But I thought this issue was a banger.
Thank you. Okay, I
thought things were turning around here, and freaking, I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
You know what's going on in here? You know, they all got some. You know, everybody in. Are they the Fist or they're the Fist, right?
Yes.
So now they're all getting a little bit of power upgrades there because of the union between Elektra and Matt Murdock. The only thing I didn't really like is all this stuff about him being a Christian or something about like God's warrior. I don't know. They can tone that part down a bit.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything was great. You know, we had where they go to that island there to try and recruit some so-called villains, perhaps. You know, that fight with with U.S. Agent, and then the ending, pow, that just freaking knocked it through the roof. Like that is, I don't want to say, like I don't know what Zdarsky is, but that's fucking classic. You know, you start bringing everybody into the story, and I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you. I love the U.S. agent punch out in that fight.
Yeah,
That was great. I like the fact that they're recruiting villains and trying to somewhat, in his
yeah,
eyes,
redeem them or something. I don't know what.
just about to say, yeah, but he said we need an army, and it looks like a big fucking fight between the hand and the fist is about to go down, man. So you're gonna be seeing Punisher in this book as well. Again, it's yeah, I mean, like, it works nicely following on the heels of the last issue of Punisher, where we just seen Daredevil go over there. So like,
Yeah.
have a small tussle with him, and obviously you could think of it in the sense that he fucked off from that situation because he couldn't handle him on his own, and now he's going back and getting the recruits, right? So like, I was like, oh, this is excellent. Like, I'm loving everything about. I agree with you. I think the last couple of issues like have been all over the place in terms of like, but he's got a lot going on in this title. There's a lot happening in this book, right? And
Well, I think a lot of the stuff he had to kind of just wait for, you know, like the issue number one, then there was like the legacy issue, and then I don't know, some other baloney. But now I think he's getting to put his you know, his stamp on this, and I just hope they let him do what he wants to do.
yeah, I mean, Marco Cicchetto, the artist on
Yeah,
this book,
can't go wrong with that either.
looks awesome. I agree with you. This was probably, again, I've been saying this a lot tonight, but this is probably the best issue of this relaunch so far. I would say this is
Oh, for sure, easily.
strong issue. I agree with you. And he even went and visited that weird.
Yeah, that Goldie guy. I forgot about him, but you know, I guess he's still there. But it's not a big deal.
But now the Avengers are on his ass now, right?
Exactly. He's on the radar, and they go, "Well, we got to take him down."
You know, once Cap gets involved, watch out, the Boy Scout, man.
Yep.
He's on your ass.
I want to see that.
He's like, listen, he knocked out U.S. Agent. I'm okay with that. But
Yeah,
John Walker,
U.S. Agent ain't Captain America. That's for sure.
that's for sure. So what'd you give this one, Chris?
Oh fuck! I want to give it even more now. I'll give it a 4.25.
Same. Yeah. Yeah, same. All right.
Good
Next
stuff.
up, got X-Men 17. Yeah.
X-Men 17.
End of the Vault storyline, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I thought it was a decent issue. You know, there's some. I didn't write anything about X-Men. Where is it? I guess I'll do this one off the cuff. You know, it wasn't anything great there, but that stuff with Darwin was pretty good.
Yeah.
And you know, a nice little happy ending there. So it looks like Darwin didn't want to be saved. You know, like that story with Darwin kind of overcoming the children of the vault and how he decided to do that. And the stuff with Taliban. So that Taliban suit he wore wasn't really Taliban, was it?
Caliban. You
Or
said
Caliban, sorry. Taliban.
no, that's okay. No, it was, but I think he took a part of him or something like that somehow.
Yeah, without his permission, because at the end of the issue, he goes, "Hey, Caliban, here, I got to talk to you. You know, what if I were to do this? What would you think about it?" He's like, "Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, I got a story for you."
Yeah. So that's kind of like when they were at the bar, that's what he was kind of like. Yeah, he was trying to make amends of sorts with him, it seemed like, by the end, Forge, right? Because I guess he did it without his permission. But that fucking armor that he made out of Caliban was awesome. Like, I thought that was really cool, right? So I mean, but it really, like you pointed out, the greatest part about this issue, I think, was that it was a nice happy ending. I love that scene up back with X-23, although now there's two Lauras now running around, though, which
I'm good with two Lauras. That's fine. One's you know, whatever, a young one, you got an old one.
Right.
That's fine.
But there was a moment there where he almost was like, listen, we're not here for her, so I'm not going to save her. And then there's a whole kind of like issue that Caliban kind of, you know, brings up with him about how this goes, and they should be doing the right thing and saving her, right? And I think like he has like a moral judgment moment when he talks to what's his name?
We talked to Darwin there and kind of, okay, well, we're not saving you. You don't need to be saved. They might as well pull her out. So that was great.
Yeah. And so I'm happy that they were reunited, because these people spent like thousands of years or whatever
exactly,
hundreds of years or however long it was in the actual vault prior to getting pulled out and her getting left behind, right? Because time moves differently there. So I just thought that was really, it was nice. It was a nice ending. I was like, okay.
Yeah, there's a 2 issue story or what, 2 issue arc. So it's not too bad. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you give this one then?
I got a 3.75. It's nothing crazy.
Read my mind. Yeah, read my mind. I think here he is at the bar with Caliban there. Yeah. I think 3.75 is the right number for this one.
Yeah, it's better than average issue, but with this week we've had,
yeah,
it's been pretty good.
absolutely. All right, next up we got the Human Target number 9. I think you read this one too, Chris, right?
Yeah.
Right, let me just bring this up here. So yeah, this is number 9, continuing the story of him with Ice, who he's been kind of hooking up with and has been, trying to assist him in finding his killer that he's been poisoned by at the start of this storyline. And each issue we've been introduced to another member of the old Justice League of America, from the late 80s, early 90s team, and that post-crisis that Batman was also a part of. So this was the Batman issue, but I thought it was a really cool way that they incorporated him into the story, in the sense that you did not see him at all in this story, because the Human Target was so anticipating the fact that he was about to get revealed, that they came up with this whole ruse of throwing off the rest of the superheroes of the fact that they apparently had killed Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, in a previous issue, him and Ice. So like he kind of had to cover it up and pretend that they got a transmission from him in the last issue because Martian Manhunter was looking for him. So they were trying to throw him off of the scent, essentially. And there was this whole kind of, not Martian Manhunter, Red Rocket or whatever. And there was this whole kind of like scenario that they kind of made up in order to throw them off the scent of the murder, right? But meanwhile, he's also trying to investigate his murder, essentially, as someone poisoned him. And he's hooking up with Ice. And not only that, he now feels he has Batman on his heels, like basically about to take him down. So this whole issue is being told from the perspective like he's looking over his shoulder. Like they go to a diner and he knocks out a man and takes it. Like Batman is disguised that. He's like, I've been waiting for years for this. Like I know exactly how to like get him this. To suss him out and everything else. And he's the whole issue, he's like talking in his head. He's like, I bet you that's him. But no, he wouldn't do that. He would do this. Like he's just super fucking paranoid this whole
Exactly.
So I loved it. I thought it was a really great twist on the whole Batman showing up and ruining your day as a bad guy or someone on the run, because
he's not even there.
Like he's in the car and he's like looking over his shoulder and he's sweating.
Yeah, he trashed the car. Just he won't expect this.
Yeah. Well, Ice is getting pissed because she's not listening to her.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So like she's like, and he reveals the fact that he never actually revealed up to this point to Ice that he only has 3 more days to live or something right now. She's like, what are you talking about? Like he didn't tell him about this. So yeah, he's a mess. Like he's really
he's going off the rails. And you figure, what she's thinking, you only got 3 days to live, and this is what you're doing with your 3rd day. Like,
right. So once they veer off the road and Batman never actually shows up to take them down, she creates a whole house for them out of ice in the middle of the desert. And he goes in and he hooks up with her. And then by the end of the issue, he's like looking out the window, still paranoid, seeing if he sees Batman, anybody. And then he drops in the last panel the fact that I guess he's going to find out that we pretended that he was dead, but he's not. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. Like what did he say? He said something essentially that makes it seem like he's actually alive. He says, because he figured out Guy Gardner is still alive, which we saw him kill Guy Gardner. So unless it was some sort of a ruse to maybe make it seem like, because in my opinion, Ice is the killer, because like who else is this close to the guy throughout all of this that, you know what I mean? Like that's really like, that's
like there's got to be like some freaking, twist ending. And, it's like, who do you least suspect? Oh, of course, Ice. You at least suspect her, so it's got to be her.
But if they could somehow make up a scenario where it looks like they both killed Guy Gardner and Ice is guilty of this, what makes you think she wouldn't have tried to kill him? You know what I mean? Like, so it's because she's going along with this whole like.
But if she wanted to kill him, like he was already dead in the beginning,
Fair enough. Fair
she
enough.
would just let him die.
I don't know. That's, I guess, why we'll find out. I think it's a really well told mystery so far. The
Yeah.
art's fantastic, like a classic, like honestly, a classic kind of look to it, and like old school and new school all at the same time. I really dig the art. I think it's a really great looking art style, and by Greg Smallwood. And
If you go through the first few pages, I thought there's gonna be no words through the whole issue.
yeah, I know the way they opened up, but yeah, I love this book, man. It's a great book. What'd you give this one?
Now I give it a 3.75. Like I haven't been following this whole story. Like I've just bought a few issues here and there,
Yeah.
but it was still like I guess a great study of paranoia, let's say.
Absolutely. And for that reason, I'm gonna give it a 4.25 because I've never seen that be done. I feel like in a comic
Yeah.
like, to this extent. And like just the fact that he just never showed up in the issue is what makes
It'd be great if you saw it, if there was a scene where like this isn't even on Batman's radar, you know what I mean? Like Batman's just in the background freaking, doing a crossword puzzle or something.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. That's what made it so great to me, though, because like the expectation is that every issue we've seen one of the other Justice League members of old show up. So then you see the cover and you're like, oh, okay, this is the Batman issue. That's what I thought to myself so as I opened it up. But yeah, he's talking about anticipating Batman coming and ruining their day. But no Batman. He's so fucking paranoid. It was really brilliant. Really, I thought it was like, I'm like, this is really smart what he came up with in this one. So yeah, for sure. All right, Chris. Next up, Punchline, the Gotham game, number 2.
Oh. Okay, we'll just be quick with these ones here.
Yeah.
Punchline, the Gotham game. Yeah, I thought this would be some sort of kind of, this defining story of Punchline. I haven't read much about her. There's some great covers. It's spinning out into all the other kind of Batman titles there. I think there's some Catwoman stuff. I imagine it'll spin into Harley Quinn somehow. But it's okay. It's just, it's nothing special. You got that Royal Flush gang is battling I don't know, one of the Alley Town gangs, the Japanese one where the leader is friends with Catwoman. So there's all that kind of Catwoman mix up in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not where I thought it'd be. Batman shows up in there. I thought he was, other than the Catwoman issue, he said he was going to stay out of this. So I don't know. I don't think this is going to be any sort of career-defining moments for Alexis Kane or Punchline. But I don't know. I think they still got great covers, and I'll probably follow it through for the 5 or 6 issues that it is. But I'll give this a 3.5. Nothing crazy. Nothing great going on in there either.
Okay. Next up, Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, number 3.
Ooh, this one wasn't too bad. This was better than I thought. And we got Sergeant Rock. They got a few more toys there, or some new toys. This seems to be one of the themes going through the issues where they get, like they go to the government. Okay, we got some new weapons for you. So here they get some like super powered bazooka, and they get an automatic shotgun that holds 30 rounds. And basically just through the issue, they use both weapons, like awesome. They're both in a truck and they both got these, the shotguns. Like, oh, we're surrounded. Oh, no, hit the brakes. And they jump out and pow, pow, lean into it. And they just, they got with the zombie Nazis coming at them. And, you got shotguns blowing up at close range. You got 30 automatic whatever rounds coming out. So it's fun to watch. What's not to like about that? And that's it for that. The Easy Company. The only thing I don't like about this is you never know who freaking Sergeant Rock is. Like, he used to be at least when I used to remember him, you always knew which character was Sergeant Rock. He had the helmet on with the corporal patches or whatever, the sergeant patches, I guess.
Right.
Up on his head, with the army vest here, like, just everything's dumbed down. Like, you can't really tell who's who. But other than that, I thought it's great. I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I didn't get to read this in time though, but I was really looking forward to it because I had a lot of fun with the last issue. So it
is a fun issue.
Yeah, I'm if I don't read the rest of this online, I probably pick up the trade because I was having a lot of fun with this one for sure. So, Action Comics 1049, Chris.
I think there's a bit of a filler issue before, the big 1050 issue, and I think big things are coming in 1051. So we got Superman here with his, I guess he has those two the two kids he adopted from the war world, and one of them has this fire of Olgrin inside of them, and then they got these new gods coming in to try and, you know, I guess get the fire of Olgrin out of them. From what I've heard, those fires or this fire of Olgrin is supposed to be kind of similar to the Infinity Stone. So there's all these stones, and that fire of Olgrin is one of the Infinity Stones. If that makes it easier.
Okay.
And Superman, of course, does this thing. And, well, hey, you can't come here and do this stuff. And then those new gods kind of tell him, look, you put this fire in this kid, so this is on you, whatever happens to him. And then there's another the backup story here, which is halfway decent, but it's just brutal art, like another cartoony, freaking Saturday morning cartoony stuff that just throws it all away. And I give this 3.5. What's my favorite issue? Oh, the stuff with Metallo, though, that's pretty good too. I forgot about that. They are, I guess, Lex Luthor is trying to wield him in. I think that's going to be a big play in the next in the upcoming storyline to get him up against Superman.
Yeah, and then in the new year, they're actually going to be relaunching Superman with #1, and Joshua Williamson's going to be writing it. I actually might jump in and try out a Superman relaunch now after him being off the War World. So I'm looking forward to the post crossover between this and Superman Kal-El and everything else that's going on because.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind checking out a fresh start on the character if he's just back and doing his thing, right? So
from what I hear, they're going to be giving him back their secret identity somehow. So maybe after this Lazarus project, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
there could be a lot of big things happening. I think in 1051, the Action Comics at least is going to be split into 3 stories.
3 different writers and artists. Yeah. So it's going to be.
So there'll be 3 stories in each issue.
Yeah, it's going to be like
maybe that's good. I don't know.
Well, what they're trying to do is capture like the triangle era of Superman from the 90s, which is what they referred to it as, which was Action, Superman, and Superman Man of Steel, which was the 3 titles that they had going on at that time. But instead of actually putting out 3 titles, they're just doing it all in one book. And Dan Jurgens, who was the writer of Death of Superman, who was part of that era of the triangle era from the 90s, is actually one of the writers that's going to be writing one of the stories in Action Comics again. So like he knows the character, so I feel like you're going to get some good stories from him at the very least, right? But I mean, like, because he did Death of Superman and everything else from that era, right? So like he if anybody knows how to write the character, it's this guy. At least if you like if you liked him writing during the 90s, then you'll like this stuff, I would think, right? So
because supposedly in this issue too, Superman's been powered up by this War World sun or something. He's like more powerful than ever. And these new gods, he kind of got a chance to show them. So usually once everybody gets powered up, and they're gonna get knocked down again sooner or later. So maybe that's what's upcoming.
Yeah. All right. Next up, I got Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, which I read this digitally. This is the new Jason Aaron book by Boom Studios. So this was cool to see because Jason Aaron hasn't really written anything like outside of Marvel, I feel like, for some time. The books that he was doing through Image have all ended over the last couple of years. So this was like the first like creator owned thing I've seen Jason Aaron do in some time. And like really, other than like Avengers, that's all he's been working on lately, is between Avengers Forever, and all leading into the conclusion of his run from the last few years. Like he hasn't really been writing much else, which is weird because like I felt like Jason Aaron, like he was one of my favorite writers for forever. And just I feel like over time lately he hasn't been doing, his output hasn't been as much. So I don't know if he's got like a lot of things that he's planning on bringing out through other publishers or what's happening, because he was a Marvel exclusive for a long time, right? So I just hope we see more work from the guy because I think he's an excellent writer. But anyways, this is a start of a new story, and it is a post-apocalyptic kind of like future setting, which a lot of writers are doing, I guess, just because of the state of the world right now. And it starts out with a girl like rolling through like just wreckage essentially in like some sort of fucked up future state. And then she comes across like some creatures that like emerge out of like the sewage and mud and everything else that she's kind of like rowing through, and she ends up killing one of the creatures, and this other kid who's inside of like this big building stronghold of sorts, like he's watching this thing like through like a periscope type of like view kind of like you know what I mean, periscope type of thing that he's viewing her through. And all of a sudden, like she makes her way inside of the building, like he busts through the door and he like allows her to like join him inside. And she comes across like this crazy setup that this kid has. And he's got all these crazy rooms that he introduces to her that are around the compound. And you know, he's got a room like a big pool full of books. And you know, he's got a room full of pillows. Like he's just like a bunch of shit, I guess, he's been collecting over the years. And he's by himself in this huge building, and he's got it made essentially. Like he's got like a whole room full of like candy and shit that's from like a bunch of like, it's a room, he calls it the orchard. It's a room full of like vending machines, right? Just like, I guess, leftover time. And he's got all snacks that he's just been surviving off of for like, I don't know, the last however long, right? And this girl's like, he's, you know, like, well, you know, what are you doing here all by yourself? Like, what kind of, you know, this whole layout that you got here, how have you been surviving? And this kid's like very naive and clearly would not be able to. It's like in The Walking Dead when they came across people that were exposed, that have never been exposed, Chris, to like the harshness of reality outside of wherever they've been holed up in this whole time, right? So she's like, you wouldn't survive a day out there, like she thinks to herself, to this kid, right? And he tries to get her to stay there, and she's like, no, 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 if it's all the same, I'm just gonna take some of this food if you don't mind, and I'm gonna be on my way. So you find out that the kid's parents, I guess, created this whole like place that he's been in to survive the apocalypse or whatever, you know, that they've had to deal with, because we're unsure of everything that's occurred at this point in time in the story. And they're dead, like their corpses, like you cut to a scene and you see like their skeletons like in a bed in a room in the house. So it's like Psycho style, like the parents are just dead in the building there, and this kid's just been surviving without them somehow, right? So, anyways, he gets lonely after she leaves, and he feels like they really hit it off. And he's like, you know, he's in love with this girl because he hasn't seen like another human being in forever. And, you know, so he goes out in the world. He grabs a huge knapsack of all this other shit that he thinks he needs while in the outside world. And he makes his way out there and follows the girl because there's a bridge that she takes that's connected to his compound to go back out into the city. And he joins her on this journey, and to her annoyance, she's like, she's like, oh, great, I'm gonna have to carry your ass now, essentially, right? And yeah, just some great character work. And then they cut to like a moment in the future. You jump to the future at the end of the issue. They give you like a little tease of like, we don't know if this is the character, like the boy we've been following in the past, that they're now like showing you in the present day, but it does not look good for whomever this is at the end of this issue. Like he's in a bad, you know, he messed up in a bad way with some bad people, and you know, it looks really bad whatever's going on in the future, you know, compared to where we are in the story currently. So really great character building, even for one issue. By the end of this issue, I was like, I want to know more of these people. I want to spend more time with them. Really great dialogue, really well written, and good art. And I think it's supposed to be like 4 different arcs, 5 or 6 issues that he's doing this in, with different artists for each arc, Jason Aaron said. So you know, it's an interesting approach to doing the series instead of like just one artist that most people do with creator owned projects. So I gave it I gave it a 4. The more I talked about it, I was going to give it a 3.75, but I think like the way it left me, it made me want to read the next issue, and I think they did some great character work in it. So 4 for that one. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. And lastly for me, Miracle Man Silver Age #2. I ended up reading this last minute. This is, I think, the last issue of the previously released series from the 90s, where they just lost the license and ability to do this character. Written by Neil Gaiman, art by Mark Buckingham, that they've recolored. And then I think with the next issue, those are now going to be the new issues, like that will finally continue this story that they abandoned back from the 90s, if I'm not mistaken. And in this issue, I guess it was probably more risque for this book at that point in time, which is basically what the Miracle Man was, that Alan Moore had written, because they were doing stuff in comics that you hadn't really seen, or that weren't really done at that point in time. And now I feel like this doesn't feel as shocking. But basically, this issue now, after young Miracle Man was resurrected in the last issue, he's trying to like, catch his footing with what's going on in today's time and, in his world. And they do a whole parade for the guy, and they kind of are celebrating him and everything else. And he's meeting all the people, shaking the hands and getting the getting the everyone loving him and everything else. And he ends up going back to like his fortress there, wherever all the Miracle Man family are live essentially. And Senior Miracle Man comes into the room and he's chatting with them, and he's like, yeah, listen, a miracle woman was talking to me, and we were chatting, and she says that there's something I never realized about you, and I can't believe I've been so blind this whole time. And he's like, how do you think of me, young Miracle Man? And he's just like, oh yeah, well, you're my chum, aren't you, Miracle Man? Like, we're good friends, and we've had all these great past adventures and all that. And then Miracle Man leans in and tries to kiss him, and so like I guess he thinks he's gay for him, or that he has feelings for him, but yet I didn't think Miracle Man was into that, or he's just trying to see if he's into it. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess that's like, it was more risque then, or shocking. And I'm just like, but I didn't see it going in that direction either. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, like, he goes in for the kiss, and then it cuts to this scene where like you see Miracle Man fucking flying through the air, and like I guess he punched the shit out of him, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then you see them, he follows him up in space, and he's crying, and he's like, I don't know why you did that, what's wrong with you, blah blah blah. And he's like, no, Miracle Woman thought that this is a big misunderstanding, like he can't, like, he's trying to figure out his bearings all of a sudden after he punches the shit out of him. Then all of a sudden he fucking flies off in a fit of rage, and he fucks off, and he's gone. There's this scene of him crying, and then he's trying to, like, apologize to him. And then it just ends on Miracle Man going and walking up to Miracle Woman essentially and saying, like, yeah, I think we need to talk about what you told me. I don't know. It was fine. I mean, I think it was probably more like, at the time, they're probably playing with the idea of like, this is like Batman and Robin. Like, what if he was gay or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think it was done at a time where it was like, let's explore superhero tropes that aren't really done. Like, you know what I mean? So I think when the time this came out in the early 90s, this was probably more important or shocking or whatever at that time. Where now it's like, I feel we've seen this like in a lot of other types of stuff nowadays, especially in comics as well, right? So I mean, for me, it was fine. I gave it a 3.5. It feels old and new at the same time, though. Like, it definitely has an art style that makes you think it's a golden age comic, but it is dealing with more mature and kind of current, you know what I mean, like topic in that sense. So like, I'll give it that. I think it does still hold up, even though it came out in the 90s with what it was trying to portray then, that it's trying to portray now, like in the sense that I think it was probably ahead of its time in a lot of their ideas. But reading it now, the reason I'm giving it a 3.5 is because it's not as shocking now in that sense. Like, if they were going for a shock that, and also it's weird that it ended on this issue and then they just lost the license. So like, people back then were like, what? We're like, what the fuck? Like, really freaking out. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
So like, now it's just like, oh, okay. So anyways, yeah. So I'll see if I'm going to continue with it. I probably will, because I am interested to see where they take it from here, being that it's a comic that they've abandoned for 30 years. Like, I'm very curious to see like what Neil Gaiman is like been holding on to all this time, right? Like, he is a well-known writer, and I'm interested to see what they're going to cook up. So,
like, do you think he kind of had stories back from 30 years ago, or is he just kind of looking this with new eyes 30 years later?
Probably the former instead of the latter. I would say like he probably is going to be following up with what he had planned, I would say, back then. But I also think he's probably a little both, because I think he's going to have to rework some of those ideas to approach it differently for today's times, because where he's going to go.
Yeah, because you can't just kind of write a story. Let's say he wrote issue 3 30 years ago.
Right.
Okay, well, I lost the license, put it on ice. Oh, I got it back. Boom, here it is.
But it's funny, because the internet trolls, like the people that were hating on him as of recently, were giving him shit for the new Sandman show. I don't know if you heard about this, Chris, because of some of the things that they got going on in that show in terms of the sexual identity and everything else that was going on with some of the characters in Sandman. And people were giving him a hard time for that now. Recently, when the show came out, he's like, I did this back in the 90s, right? Where, like, he's like, there's a reason. Like, this isn't because of today's times where people feel like they got to make characters gay, or they need to, like, you know what I mean, hit like certain, you know what I mean, like markets by like, okay, we need a black character, we need this character, we need everything. He's like, no, this was back then I was doing something where people weren't doing much. Like that's the reason why this is like the reason why this is, you know, it was a popular title for that reason. So like I think that's what I mean. Like it'd be interesting to see what he does with it now, given where he left off with these themes, right? So I'm interested to see. I'm very curious now because I'm like, is he gonna lean into it more now, or is he gonna be like, you know what, abandon that whole idea and be like, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm going for nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It should be interesting to see. So, anyways, next up, Harley Quinn 24. I got this cover here. Yeah, same one. What do you
Yeah,
think?
nice. I think it's great art in this issue or this run here that's been going on. I think this guy really captures Harley Quinn, and the writing too. I think it's my favorite version of Harley Quinn so far. You know, she's kind of manic, but not so not so ditzy or dumb. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's a pretty decent ending. I don't know if they're trying to make fun of the X-Men or the Immortal X-Men here, because all of a sudden we have a Harley Quinn there dressed up like Sherlock Holmes too. And I think they do it better here if that's the case. And that ending, I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but I'm down for it. If you want to talk about that end there.
Yeah, I have the art for it, so I do want to talk about it. I love this issue. I
Yeah,
love this. I love this story. This is getting better and better for me every issue. I love this. This is great. And to your point, the Sherlock Holmes part I thought was fucking hilarious.
exactly.
Where she's got Victor Zsasz there, and like you said, like they have a good mix of zany and serious Harley here. Like they're not leaning in, because when she's too crazy, I don't love it. When she's too serious, I don't love it. Like it's a very good mix, I think, what they got
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah, like she'd say, like when she's okay, I'll set you free, and then you see her dressed up as freaking whatever Sherlock Holmes, and he's still freaking strapped up in the chair. He goes, "Well, I'll let you go. I'll let you come with me and
she's
and solve this crime."
yeah, and she's dressed up as well. I loved it. Like, yeah, it was hilarious, man. I was dying at that part. And then he's like, Harley, and then you see someone slinking in the background who I guess
Yeah,
is the person that killed her originally, and you find out that it looks like it's a Harley that laughs. It looks exactly.
exactly. I think that's freaking awesome.
This might
Like
be.
I've never read any of that Batman Who Laughs stuff, but
I
I
have.
know it's a badass character, and this seems to be a nice take on it.
Yeah, and this might actually be the first appearance of this character, guys. I don't know.
Exactly. You know, like boom, this could be a key collector here.
He might have showed up somewhere else, and maybe it's something that I just never read, because that metal shit where the Batman Who Laughs showed up, there was a lot of different tie-in issues type stuff that, you know, like with the events that I didn't read. But I don't know if I feel like I've seen this version of the character as of yet. So this might be a first appearance. I don't know. But anyways, regardless, I love this story. I think it's great so far. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a fun issue, and I'm loving it. You know, this freaking so much beats that whatever that summer weekly issue they yeah, I'm glad they just put all that. I don't even know why they shouldn't even put those issues together. At least they got them out of the way, and now Harley Quinn's freaking it's rolling lately.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what'd you give this one?
I was gonna give 3.75. I might push that up to a 4 because I really did like it. You know, I thought the art's great inside too.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 4. Yeah, I give it a 4 as well. Yeah, great stuff. All right, Amazing Spider-Man number 14, Chris. I got this cover, which is
I bought 2 issues.
oh, that's a cool one. Okay, that's
It
nice.
wasn't the one I wanted, but there was 2. What's this? Alec McGinnis or something, or Ed McGinnis?
Yeah, Ed McGinnis.
He
Yeah.
had 2 covers. This is the design variant, and there was another one that he had was just I guess it was with this Hallowed Eve, whatever, sitting in like a I don't know more Halloweeny type of setting.
This is like a prelude of sorts to Dark Web. This whole issue, it's the setup basically with.
Yeah, I guess you figure out what's going on and why Ben Riley's doing what he's doing. I guess.
Yeah. So what'd you get? What do you think of this one?
Well, I know they had the 4 seasons set up there. Anyway, we had 4 different artists in there, and I thought a couple of them were great. I think one might not have been so great. And my favorite story was why like this Janine, I guess that's a spoiler, that she becomes this Hallows Eve character.
Yeah.
And why she does that, and it's nice seeing how Madeline Pryor fits into this and why like what this dark web is all about. I guess I don't know if it's a spoiler there, but basically they get some fruit from limbo where if you eat it, you can kind of suck in all the person's memories, and that's what Ben Riley wants to do to get Peter Parker to eat this thing. But like, I guess the big problem is, why the hell does Ben Riley want Peter Parker's life? It's freaking sucking right now. You know, he seems to be doing better off on his own. He's got this big compound there. He's stealing all this Beyond stuff. You know, he's got a girlfriend that loves him. What's he what's he complaining about? What, he doesn't remember his stuff when he was a kid? He was never a kid. And it wasn't great that anyways.
It's the fact that he has no memories of his own, but I agree.
Yeah.
It's a bit of like, yeah, like you could make new memories. No, I hear you. I think it's one of those type of situations where they're really trying to stretch him having some sort of like, and like a villain type of motive here, but it's not really working for me either. And I'm just like, okay, like I get it. Like you were a clone. You didn't really have much.
Yeah, you're sad, but you don't got to bring an army of Limbo to New York just to get your revenge. Like, has he not been following Spider-Man? Like, he could have just picked him up like one of the many times he's got his ass kicked.
Yeah. What I wanted to point out, though, is this is Stegman right here. He did a few pages in this issue, and he had two different inkers inking him. So I'm sure maybe that also maybe influenced the look of this art. But this is rushed. This art, honestly, this looks not comparing this to Vanish this week. I was like, at first, like I had to do a double take. I'm like, this looks like Stegman, but it also doesn't look as like, I'm like, I had to look at the cover. I was just like, is Stegman on this issue? And then I was like, and I looked at the credits. I'm like, oh yeah, this is Stegman. I'm like, this is not as good, this Stegman here.
Well, what if you're Stegman? They go, okay, you got to get you're gonna draw Ben Riley standing in a crowd there, and kidnapping freaking some bozo. You're not gonna freaking go out there. You're not gonna go freaking all out for that.
It wasn't bad. I'm just saying it's night and day compared to his work that just came out this weekend. And of course, he's doing double duty here by doing some pages over here with this special. And I'm obviously they wanted him to do something for them because he is a well-known Spider-Man artist, right? So like, I'm not opposed to the segment pages. I don't think they were horrible, but I just feel like look at these and look at the pages he did in Vanish this week, and it's just like comparison. Like honestly, the Vanish ones are way, way, way better.
Well, I'm sure he saw this as a paycheck, and Vanish is what's gonna,
right.
That's what he's gonna hang his hat on for the next few years, I imagine.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm okay with it. I'm not hating.
I'm okay with it too. Good for him. I love his smoky eyes. That seems to be the Stegman signature. Even back in that Renew Your Vows, this is before all this stuff. There's a few characters that came up. They have the smoky eyes, and I guess that's his thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I just wanted to point out. I'm like, this is definitely, I think, like a little bit more of a rushed approach in this one, if you want to call it that, or just maybe not. It didn't take as much, you know what I mean, time on these ones, but the guy's fucking penciling his own book, right? His whole other title with Vanish over there, right? So the fact that he even got these pages done, I think it was still a treat to see him between this and the and the Amazing Fantasy issues. It's been nice to see a lot of work from him over at Marvel lately too, right? So it's
nice to see that he still got his foot in the door there, and maybe they'll tap him on the shoulder one day. You got some spare time, throw in a few issues.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, what'd you think of this, Chris?
Well, this wasn't my favorite issue, but it was some good stuff, and it did lay down the storyline, what's going on in this prelude. And before I put my, I guess my rating in, but how this prelude or how this dark web's going to end up, I got a couple ideas there, man. They should either have, they should got Ben Riley wins, and then he starts freaking sucking out his memories, and he just says, "Hey, fuck this shit. I don't want this guy's life because it sucks." Or he does it, and he gets to remember everything. Like he remembers before the one more day. Like he gets to remember all this. Like all the superiors, like this. Does Peter Parker remember Superior Spider-Man right now or not?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, so why isn't he more friendly to Doc Ock? It's like doesn't mean, but he could remember everything that's been going on, and then that could be a different twist to what's going on. But I don't think any of that's going to happen. But as for this issue itself, I'll give it a 3.75, which is a little on the high side. I'm leaning more to a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 3.5, maybe even 3.25, man. I didn't love this setup, to be honest with you. And I think, like, like I get what they were going for, giving you a full issue of a year's worth of time that I guess that has been building into this whole chasm motive
Yeah.
of taking Peter Parker down. And some of the buildup was enjoyable, but then other shit in this issue, I'm just like, I wasn't as interested in it. And then there was different artists, and like you said, they weren't all as good as the others. And yeah, okay, I'll stick with 3.5. It was okay. I really just hope the event was better than the lead-in, but usually that is a lot of the time that is the case. Sometimes the lead-in really doesn't offer you much because they're saving it all for the event, right?
Well, I do hope they do something crazy with this at the end, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, no. Yeah, anyways. So yeah, 3.5. All right, so moving on here very quickly. In the news, I wanted to quickly mention this. I sent this article to Chris earlier. Apparently, they've announced that it's official in a Twitter exchange between, I guess, a fan. They've announced that Donny Cates is officially leaving as writer of the Hulk book. And not only that, Ryan Ottley, who's actually been the one that has taken over the story, the writing the scripts for the current arc of Hulk Planet that me and Chris haven't really been digging all too much. Now Ryan Ottley has become the writer of that current arc. And also Ryan Ottley is going to be leaving as writer and artist of the book and going to start his own Image book, which I'm very excited to hear. But like he's also going to be leaving, I think, as of issue 14, they said. So that's it for me. Unless they announce some other crazy team book, I'm out. With this announcement, it was already wavering my enjoyment on this title. Me and Chris really even recently talked about the last issue of this Hulk Planet, how much we really didn't like it. So I think with issue 14, Otley's off the book. So I think with that, unless they announce something big within the next month or so, I'm probably done at that point too. Because
has he gone with Thor 2 then, or?
That's what I was trying to look up. So there was an exchange on Twitter where he says it. I've been dealing with life stuff recently. In response to this kind of thread that Ryan Ottley was talking about this with a fan on Twitter, and then he copied his editors at Marvel and kind of like, maybe to jump in and maybe say something if they wanted to, but he's apparently been working behind the scenes with something big. There's rumors going around that he might be the new writer on Avengers post Jason Aaron. I'm not sure about all that, but anyways, that being said though, it's questionable whether or not he's going to return to Thor as a result. That's the most I could find. There's been no confirmation of that. But as you could see, even in the upcoming solicits of Thor now, he's completely not writing the book either. So like going to follow in the footsteps of what he was doing with Hulk. Same deal. He's not going to be on that title. So I think both of these titles for me are on the chopping block moving forward as a result, just because I feel like we're going to lose a lot of steam and interesting things that he had written up to this point, that someone coming in and picking up the pieces. I feel like, they're not going to do as good of a job. Not only that, the writers that they have on these books, I'm not as interested in so far. So like, I'm probably out. Like, so it's disappointing.
But if he throws his effort into Vanish, I'm fucking down for that.
Which he has been. Like, I'm pretty sure this was stuff that he was already working on previously to whatever has been going on in his life recently. So I feel like, if anything, because that is his own book and not a book that he's writing for Marvel, he will put it all still into that title. So
like if sales drive how much money he makes.
Yeah. So exactly. So I really hope everything's okay with him, that being said, but at the same time, it's just like, it sucks because like these books are both been wavering from the, how much fun we were having reading them when he was writing them. So I feel like it's disappointing in one sense, but what are you going to do? Right. So I guess we'll see what happens, but I'm pretty much done, I think, with Hulk after, I think it's 14, Otley said is his last issue. I think they've solicited up to 12, and 12 is where he's taken over now and as the co-writer. And so if this is finishing up whatever vision they had for the book in terms of like, Ryan,
I wonder if they're going to continue with this Starship Hulk, or
I don't know. So they might just be better off, to be honest with you, relaunching it. And Hulk's never been a title where I'm like, I have to read it. So
it has been good though lately. Like
it has been, but again, I think that's because
not lately, but this run has been good. It got a little crazy, and
But
it's been a different one, that's for sure.
right, but I think that has a lot to do with the fact that Cates has been on it, right?
Yeah,
So I think I'm going to lose a lot of goodwill from on the title as a result of him leaving, right? I mean, not to say like there has never been a time where another artist, I saw another writer has come on a book and I like just like right now. So Jason Aaron did a 7-year run or whatever on Thor, and guess who followed up that run? Donny Cates, and both have been
yeah,
great. So, like, yeah, that was one case where I'm like, you're going from one great writer to another great writer. Yeah, I'm on board. But you know, it's just I feel like if someone else is gonna come in now and pick up the pieces already of a pre-established story that Donny Cates was writing, I don't want to read it. Like I want to read Donny Cates' version of that
yeah.
story, right? So it's kind of ruined it for me a little bit, right? So we'll see what happens. But anyways, so that's that news. And then we got new comic solicitations for this DC February 2023. We'll quickly go through. Let me just bring that up here for you. Have you had a chance to look through these already, Chris? Or
No, I don't think I have.
okay, so yeah, me neither, really. So we'll take a look here, see what's what. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Okay, there we go. Okay, shout out to comicreleases.com again, the site that we use to show this stuff. Always some, always put it together really well. Okay, Superman #1. So yeah, as I was saying previously, while you're talking about action, I think I'm going to try this out.
I'll probably get Superman #1 at least. See what's going on.
Yeah, I'll take a look at some of the covers here. Yeah, so you got that one, gatefold one. Oh, what's going on with the internet here? There we go. Yeah, I don't know. Not really.
A bunch of whole hum covers, nothing big.
But I've liked some stuff that Josh Williamson has done, so I'll probably check it out. I'll see what he has to bring to the character. Then you got Action Comics 1052, as you mentioned, 3 writers, Philip Kennedy Johnson, who wrote the current Action with the World stuff. Then he's joined by Dan Jurgens and Leah Williams as well. So,
I think it's like a Power Girl story here. I haven't read much about her, so I might be down for that still.
yeah. But yeah, this says Metallo attacks, and I guess that's gonna be some of the stories they're gonna be telling is gonna be based around that. That's cool cover. Okay, then you got Lazarus Planet Next Evolution #1. Sorry, so are you out on Action, or are you just gonna continue?
I'll probably stick with Action.
Okay.
Over Superman, at least.
Right. Lazarus Planet Next Evolution #1. I'm out on this. I think
I don't know, man. They're spreading this way too much, man. Like in the what's this February? Like I think the January solicits, there was like 10 1-shots or like 5 or 6 1-shots.
That's why it's too much. I
Yeah,
mean,
like I don't know which ones are going to be the good ones. Like there might be 1 or 2 good ones out of there, but can't tell which ones are which.
right. Then you got Lazarus Planet.
Yeah, there's still even some more going on.
Yeah, Dark Fate.
I might try and read them if I can, but
yeah, maybe I'll check out some of them. Maybe the ones that look interesting. I feel like there's a lot of interesting things spinning out of this event. Apparently, like there's a lot of books that have been announced already that they're going to spin out of this. That I'm really like, look at this, like Doom Patrol. I love Doom Patrol. So like the fact that they have them on a cover here, I'm hopeful for that. Right, whatever happens there. So I guess we'll see. But anyways, so Lazarus, see, here we go. This is Lazarus Planet Omega, though. This is the conclusion. With Mark Waid there doing this. So as I suspected, he's doing the end caps, essentially the start issue and the end cap issue here. I might check this out at the very least. This the Alpha and the Omega ones. I check out Batman versus Robin 5. Yes, I'm picking this up still.
I might read it. I don't know.
And then we got Batman 132. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Hey, who's this?
Yeah.
Is that Catwoman? Yeah, it is.
I think so. Look at the reflection there.
Yeah.
Ooh, some nice covers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo #4. Yes. Yeah, continuing with this one.
I might be just reading this online. I don't know if I've been buying any of these issues.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. But yeah, still reading it, right? So Riddler Year 1, no. Batman One Bad Day, Clayface #1, no. I like Clayface though. Nightwing 101, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. The Chris is begrudging fucking Poison Ivy 9. Are you continuing to read this
I
online?
don't know. I might just be reading these online.
Take a look at the covers. That's a good one though.
There have been some good covers. Supposedly Harley Quinn's get back into the mix there, so could be interesting.
Right. Detective, you dropped this, right? Did you drop this?
Well, I did get this week's issue I got, but I still haven't read it yet. I'm out.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on in there.
Right. Ooh, nice covers though. Static Shadows of Dakota #1. No. It's a Static Shock. Yeah, it's cool, but yeah, no, I'm all right. Milestone 30th anniversary special. No.
No,
Icon versus Hardware #1. More milestone stuff. No.
no.
Shazam Fury of the God special. Shazamly matters. What the fuck? No.
No.
Hey,
You have a freaking Urkel, a Shazam Urkel in there?
yeah, you got the Marvel, you got the movie cover there. There
Did
you
I do that?
go. DC Ruby #1. No.
No.
Swamp Thing Green Hell #2. A year later. Yes. the series that got abandoned for whatever reason. I don't know. But yes, I'm gonna reread #1 and then I'll be picking this up and reading this. So yes, it's only a 3-issue series. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
When's issue 3? 2024?
Yeah, exactly. Wiz Comics Facsimile Edition, no. Batgirls 15, no. Batman Incorporated, no. Batman Superman World's Finest #12. Yes, I'm still buying this.
I might be just reading this. I might drop this one too if I can.
Ah, all right. Batman Beyond the White Knight #8. The conclusion.
Oh fuck yes.
Yes, definitely reading this. Let's take a look at the covers here. Yeah. Yeah, some good ones. And all right. Batman Gotham Knights, no. Batman The Adventures Continue, Season 3, no. Batman Audio Adventures, no. Black Adam, no. Blue Beetle Graduation Day, no. Catwoman, how about this? You sticking to this?
No. I was thinking about dropping this too, but got some David it's a Nakayama or something. I think he's doing some covers, all the 8 covers. That's a pretty sweet cover.
This is him, yeah.
Could be. Possibly.
Okay. Danger Street #3, new Tom King series. Yes, I'm picking this up.
No.
DC Horror presents Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead. Again,
I'm probably going to end up with it somehow. They just keep on giving me stuff, but I don't think I'm going to order it.
Oh, look at that cover.
If it's in my box, sir, I'll take it.
Got Hitler there though on this cover. Deceased War of the Undead Gods.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. 7 of 8. Yeah, definitely picking that up. Oh, look at this Green Lantern one here. What's going on here? Hold on. You got what's his name's daughter, Sinestro's daughter. Hey now. He's posing on a rock while flying through space. GCPD.
The bank.
Just GCPD, the Blue Wall #5. No. Gotham City Year 1 #5. Yes.
No.
Harley Quinn 27. Yes.
Yes.
Nice covers. Hold on here. Oh, look at that. Nice covers. Ooh. This one too.
That's a Jenny Friz in there.
Jenny Frizen, yeah, that's right. Yeah, good covers.
That's a couple of that 8 covers decent, and
yeah, the Jenny Frizen isn't one of the 25, so that might be one to grab. It's just a regular one. Harley Quinn animated series, no. I Am Batman, no. Justice Society of America 4. I've pre-ordered the first couple of issues. We'll see. I didn't like the lead-in, the Golden Age that I talked about, so I was keen on this, but this is a maybe at this point. We'll see. Monkey Prince, no. Punchline. What are you doing online? You reading this online, or what are you doing?
I don't know. We got to see these covers. There's probably some sweet covers there too.
You know.
Is that the beach or no?
That's variant cover Derek Chu.
Oh, Chu's good too.
Yeah. I think this one, Gleb Melkinov. This one.
Well, we'll see. Probably. I hope not to, but
yeah,
it hasn't been a great series.
Scooby-Doo, Stargirl, no. Superman Space Age #3. Now, you might remember me saying this is on my list for last week. It got pushed back, apparently. These are like super oversized issues of like 80 pages.
Yeah.
I guess it was originally solicited for next week, but it wasn't ready. So here we are. It's showing up 3 months from now. So there you go. Superman Space Age coming out in February. But yes, I will be reading that and buying it. Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries, no. Flash, no. 792 and 93. Human Target 12, The Conclusion. Yes, definitely get this up.
It's that second cover.
Yeah. And you got the ice cover here. Yeah, I'll be picking this up.
That David Nakayama there. I see the DNA.
Yeah, this is him.
Maybe.
This isn't him. This is Melina, but this
No,
is
yeah, the
David Nakayama here. Yeah, that's a nice cover. Joker, A Man Who Stopped Laughing. No. Number 5. Sandman Universe, Dead Boy Detectives. No. Tim Drake Robin, no. Titans United. Are you reading this online or what's going on with this Blood Pack? You remember you said you liked one.
I'm gonna try and read it online. That's some some crazy stuff was going on in that first couple of issues.
Wildcats number 4. You're not keeping this, right?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I heard it wasn't.
Oh, just an art gym cover.
Yeah, Wonder Woman 796. No.
No,
And that's it. Look at this. There's only a handful of things I think you're picking up now, Chris. I think, between us trying to cut back and just like the general state of things, I don't know what's going on. I mean, you got all this Kate's news. Like, they need to really, like, by the summer, they need a resurgence in terms of like books at this point. Both the companies, I feel like.
Both companies, for sure. Especially DC. Like this, they're trying to reboot the universe, and if this doesn't work again, like,
yeah,
that's going to be brutal for them. And I don't see anything very exciting in all these reboots or whatever they're trying to do with this dawn of the new DCU.
No, I did want to mention a couple of things quickly. I see in Dark Horse and Image lists very quickly, though. This looks really interesting. I'll probably read this online or maybe pick up the trade when it comes out. But this is Blue Book #1 by James Tynion, the fourth there. I love his work. And this is basically, he's going to be doing, I guess he started this on a Substack and now it's coming out in issues. It's a 5-issue miniseries. He's doing based on true reported UFO cases for this.
Yeah, the X-Files sort of stuff.
I love this type of shit. When I was younger, I used to read all kinds of fucking UFO books and all this shit. I love this kind of stuff. So this one, he's talking about Betty and Barney Hill, which is a famous kind of story like that. That actually happened in real life. These people claim they got abducted. It's been depicted in movies and TV and everything. So I love this type of shit. So I'm definitely going to be reading this one way or another. I'm going to be checking this out. So I wanted to give that shout out quickly to that one. That one's awesome. And also there's another really cool book here that I wanted to mention that I'll probably wait for the trade on this one. But what the fuck is it called here? If I can find it. Where Monsters Lie, #1, 1 of 4. Again, I really like this writer, Kyle Starks. This is about like I don't know, like it's like a slasher book of some sort, like slasher monster book, and again, I like those type of themes and horror and stuff like that, and I like the writer, so this is probably something I might check out and trade if anything. So that kind of 4-issue miniseries, More Monsters Lie, that sounded interesting to me. And very quickly, Image, there's one Image title that I don't know if you saw this, Chris, but this sounds very interesting to me as well. Local Man #1. Did you hear about this book?
No, but it sounds good so far.
It is a superhero based book in the Image universe, and it's based on a down and out on his luck, kind of in the dumps type of superhero, 90s extreme era type superhero. So the writers of this book and the artists of this book, they're doing like a flip book style comic where one side of the issue is going to be drawn and written by the one artist writer, and the other one's going to be done by the other one, but it's going to be done in a 90s extreme Image style era like look. And they said they're not really just going to do tropey type shit where they're like, oh, this is like a 90s book. They're just taking a character that would have been from that time, like a young
and turn him on his head.
Exactly. So that sounds interesting to me. Like I was just like, this is kind of what I thought Public Domain was going to be originally when it was, and it turned out to be something completely different. This sounds really good. I heard this, the one guy, Tony Fleece, who's one of the creators on this, actually on another comics podcast I listened to talking about the book, and he sold me in the explanation. So if anything, I might even just read this digitally, but it sounds really good. Local Man #1. So yeah, it sounds like something that's up my alley because they are doing like a superhero type thing, but not in the fucking way that so many people try to do these tropey type books where they're like, oh, look, it's like a 90s superhero. This sounds kind of like a interesting take on it. So yeah, I might check this one
Well, I
out.
think in Image Comics, one that's I don't know when it's coming up is that Nightclub with by Mark Millar.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like super cheap, like they're selling for $1.99 or something like that. Then I think I'll be down for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that looks interesting as well. I think it's already been optioned for a Netflix show as well because Mark Miller has a deal with
Oh,
it.
nice.
Yeah.
And then I don't know when Nemesis Reloaded is that Image too, or is that somebody else?
Yeah, it's Image as well. That was actually in last month's list. It's number 2 in the newest list is for February.
Yeah.
That also is something I'm maybe checking out, I think, digitally first because I pick up all this shit in trade anyways. And that looks.
I won't be getting those issues at least.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so there you go, guys. That's our February 2023 solicits we wanted to talk about. That being said, Chris, what are you picking up next week or reading next week?
Next week is a slow week.
Same here. Yeah. Oh,
Let me tell you, I got Avengers Assemble, Alpha, Strange 8, Exterminators 3, and that's it.
how many
3 comics, nothing from DC.
How many comics total?
3.
Wow. What the hell is this StreamYard thing that's up on? I don't know. What's going on here? There we go.
Right, well.
What is that thing? Get that out of here. But yeah, wow, 3 comics. That's insane. Okay, let me see what I have. I have a few as well, only I think, but not. I don't know if I think it's 3, but it's.
I got no DC.
Yeah.
A grifter got run over by a reindeer or something.
Let me see. Let me pull mine up here quickly. I didn't have it ready. Yeah, it is a small week, though. I agree with you, but yeah, I don't think I have 3. I think I at least have 4 or 5 or something, but that's not much. So it's gonna be a quick one next week, I think, guys. Let's see. Next week I got Justice Society of America #1, Nightwing 2022 annual, Strange 8, Strange Academy Finals #2, and that's it. 4 comics.
Yeah, not too far.
I think it's a
like
5th.
Between us, we have like 6 comics.
Yeah, this is a 5th week, I think. That's why, guys. Yeah. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to cook up and try something else out online digitally or something, guys, just because we are so short on books. But if not, that's okay too. So that's what we got to look forward to next week.
If I had nothing to do, maybe I'll read some stuff over the weekend and maybe bring some stuff out of the vault or some stuff I haven't read there.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, guys, let's talk about our favorite book of the week, though, this week.
Ooh, Chris. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta look through the stock. I didn't really think about it.
I can give it to a few things here. Yeah, me neither.
Okay, I think I know which one it is.
Okay, I got mine, I think, too. All right, guys. I'm going to go with Vanish. I think this made the impact on me this week because I really wanted to love this series. And I think that, like I said, I mentioned earlier, this was the best issue yet. And with those Stegman visuals, it put it over the top for me. So although this was just like one big fight scene of an issue, the way it started out and ended, I was like, that was a satisfying read. So I got to give it to that. I everything else here, like, I feel like I've praised one time or another, but I feel that this hasn't been meeting the mark so far in terms of like what our expectations were for this title. But with this issue, I'm really excited about what comes next. So yeah, Vanish #3.
It was definitely in the running, but I'm gonna have to go with Daredevil.
That was see, that's the other one I have in my pile. That was the other one. If it wasn't that, it was this. Yeah, good call.
Same thing for me is one or the other.
Good call. Okay.
But I think once again, that same thing, you guys could say the exact same things that you said. This has been a series, like I say, I thought it's been phoned in for the last little while.
Yeah.
And now it looks like they're going to take care of business in the next few issues, and I'm down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, I agree with that. As well. Yeah, like we said, I think that we said that about that issue too. That is the best one so far, the relaunch. So it was either one or the other. So yeah, there you go, guys. Yeah. That's a good week of comics, this one. Yeah, it was really great. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll see what else we have to cook up next week to talk about on this 5th week of comics, because it's we're lacking a little bit in terms of how many books we got. But hey, I'm sure we'll have a fun.
I'm sure they'll all be bangers next week.
Yeah, exactly. That being said, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed and like the channel and everything else, man. And Chris, thank you as always. And we'll see you guys next week. Later, guys.
All right. Cheers.